In a world where Gen X women are literally trying to understand menopause and just survive out here, and Jesus must be the center of everything we do so we don't end up in jail.
We want to reserve a place where we can address our hot flashes and most definitely everything the Holy Ghost has laid on our hearts, all at the same time.
I'm Michelle.
I'm Elena.
So come on, let's talk about it.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back
To our show.
I feel like it's been a hot minute since we've done this
No.
because we did the whole month of December.
Yeah.
And then, true to form, we did not let y'all down. We flip-flopped
Got
the
some
Christmas
episodes
and
flipped.
New Year's Eve episode, or New
Look.
Year's episodes. But I feel like y'all don't expect anything less from us. It just keeps you on your toes. So there's that.
There's that.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And now it's January
Exactly.
already.
We are season 2,
Yes,
episode 2.
exactly. And before we get too far into it, we're going to go ahead off the rip and let everybody know about our Hot Flashes and Holy Ghost brunch
Yes.
coming up the 18th of January, this coming
Yes.
Saturday.
Next Saturday. It's going to be
It is
awesome.
going to be at the Family Life Center of the Sanctuary in Cleveland.
Yep.
What is it, 100 East Hanson or something?
Yep.
even
100
know the
East
address.
Hanson, Cleveland,
Yes.
Texas.
It's free. It's
It
a
is free.
brunch. My mom
Yes.
is coming and she's cooking,
and she's bringing cake.
along with several other of our beautiful lady friends at the sanctuary.
Yes.
Are cooking
That you
and
will
bringing
love.
food. You will love them.
And we have guests.
We have guests coming.
Yeah.
We have 4
Yeah.
guests, and we have ourselves and then 4 guests. So my sister Kara Farhat is coming. Miss Carly Bynum from Lufkin, Texas is coming. Sister Charity Martin and Sister Brenda Morris
Yep.
from Livingston and Shepherd
Yep.
are going to be there. They are our people at church. And it is free. There's just one rule. Please do not bring your children. We love them, but this is not an event for children. And the reason why is it will be recorded live.
Yeah.
It won't be aired live, but it will be recorded live. And so we really need to. And we'll be talking about different things. This is going to be kind of like an Ask Anything, and you can be anonymous. So,
What she means is that the woman that she mentioned there'll be a panel.
yes.
And there'll be a way for everybody to ask their questions.
Question and answer, whatever question you want to talk about.
We won't be able to get to every single question, but we're going to try.
We're going to try. So, yes, and due to those 2 things, please don't bring your children. This is not a child-friendly event. We love your children, but
13 and up.
Not this time around. 13 and up only,
13
please.
and up.
So it's going to be a lot. It's our first event ever.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun, so y'all come join us.
We have baskets.
Yes. Oh, we're going to have
Giveaways?
giveaways. Yes.
We're going to have
dun.
like little personal giveaways.
Yes.
You're going to get like, I want to say merch, but it
kind of is.
It kind of is merch.
Kind of is
What?
merch. Yes. So we got merch, y'all.
Yeah. Raise a roof.
So in other news, y'all come join us for that. Anyway,
Yes.
in other news, I had to finally break down to go to the eye doctor this past week. I know that
Hallelujah.
y'all been on pins and needles about that. I still have my old glasses on.
Look,
But
we at the age if you can't see, you need to go to the eye doctor.
Let me just tell you.
I went to breakfast with Jennifer Luthi, okay, and I hope it's okay to say first and last names because Jennifer Luthi. Okay, we was at breakfast and she ain't go get her eyes checked, right? She got some readers, but she don't bring them nowhere. So we sitting at the table and she trying to read the menu. She said, "Hey, can I borrow your glasses?" I said, "Sure." So she doing this. She putting it over the paper. And looking at, I said, "Girl, give me my glasses. Why are you acting like they magnifying glasses?"
let me tell you,
Using it like she trying to find a clue.
I thought
Like it's a,
I'll just go and they'll give me a little prescription and be like, "Oh, hey, it's your age. You got readers." Y'all, guess what this chick ended up with?
bifocals.
No, I got trifocals on the way.
trifocals.
Progressive lenses.
Yes.
And they call it progressive lenses like
Welcome
it's
to the
something
club.
fancy. And I'm like,
Welcome to
what
the
y'all
club.
really mean is trifocal old lady glasses. That's what y'all really be meaning. I don't even know.
That's exactly
Anyway.
what they be meaning.
But however, I will say this, and no, I'm not getting paid to advertise this. So, Cleveland, Man Eye in Cleveland.
They're the best.
They did me right, y'all.
Yes.
Miss Sandy Perry.
Sandy
up in there.
Perry.
Dr. Hunt.
Yes.
And this nice lady named Miss Ginger.
Yes.
Who was very honest. If you want to walk out of there with a pair of glasses that look good on you, just go talk to her,
Right.
and Sister Sandy, because I'm not gonna let you leave looking crazy. Because I like the sparkly, bright, big, crazy looking stuff. And that lady was like, that's too big for your face. Take that off. I'm like, I like these. She's like, no, they don't fit you.
As you can see,
Listen.
they didn't say that to me.
I had to get this. I had to get a pair of kid frames to fit my face. I was like,
Yeah, but they was probably cheaper.
they were cheaper. They were half the price.
I want kid frames.
Yeah, they're real cute. They're little round looking tortoise shell with the little metal blue
Stop.
deals. They're real cute, and they don't look.
The first frames I picked out were
Kiddish.
like $560.
Yeah, I picked up a pair of
They
those.
were
They were like
Pradas,
$4 or something.
and I was
yeah.
like,
and I wanted
these
them.
are really cute. And then I looked at the tag and I was like, nope.
Yeah, they were way too big for my face though, so I put those back. Anyway, so I'm getting glasses.
I
Maybe
got a
by the
big
time we
face.
record the next episode, I'll have glasses.
Yes,
Or the episode
girl,
after
how
'cause we're gonna do that today. So
exciting.
maybe in a couple episodes, I'll have glasses. Anyway, but they will definitely be progressive lenses. What
Trifocals.
What kind of word is even that? Anyway, okay, enough about that.
Because we progressing into another
Right, progressing
season
right
of life.
on
We
into old
progressing
age.
into old age.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just gonna accept it gracefully.
I
Try
mean,
to,
there's no choice.
but
The alternative is to just
Be
not
blind.
exist.
yeah. So come join us January 18th. I'll definitely, probably, maybe have my glasses by then. They said 2 weeks, so I'm thinking I should.
Yeah.
That was on Tuesday.
Mine came in a little early. I
so
think.
I'll probably have my glasses by the time we do
So
that.
join us so you can see
And-
Elena's new glasses.
And I did not bring them. I'm going to show them to you later. My shoes from Shein came in.
oh,
Let me just tell you, they are lit.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. They are hot pink, orange, and leopard print.
Get it.
Loafers. Y'all, I cannot wait to wear them next weekend.
Get it.
Cannot wait to wear them. Just saying.
Get
Anyway,
it.
there's that. So
So if you don't want to come to the brunch for any other reason
Just
but to
come
see
to
her
see my
glasses
shoes
and her shoes,
and my glasses, yes.
come on, grab you a muffin
no, actually,
and a sticker.
We got some guests coming. I've had several people be like, "We're coming next weekend." So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a great time.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah
Join us.
had a lot of people say they were coming, so we're excited.
And I mean, there's free food that my mama cooked. I mean, what else do you need?
Exactly.
Lemon, blueberry,
Lemon
pound
blueberry pound cake.
Yeah.
Do we need to say anything else?
cake, Dr. Pepper meatballs. What?
Just
Who
saying.
even? Okay, there's that.
God is
Anyway,
good.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Anyway,
God is good.
lest I digress, let's get to the point today.
What you got, girl?
Well, so y'all can't see her, but my niece is watching us in the background. She's
Yes,
been
she
staying
is.
with us this weekend. So Kana is checking out the recording process today.
Yes, she is because she's going to be a guest one day.
She is going to be a guest. We went to the Color Factory yesterday.
That place is so much fun.
Listen, we had the best day.
Yes.
And she's back there cheering. It was the funnest. I'd never been. So it was the most fun.
We went this summer when my brother brought his kids from Idaho.
Oh.
And we had so much fun.
It was awesome. I felt like a kid again. So anyway, I want to go back. But
It's fun.
anyway, it was very fun. So Friday night was the Women Who Worship in Lufkin this past Friday night.
Yes.
And it was number 6. I didn't realize it had been that many. It was number
crazy.
6. And it was, as usual, incredible.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure.
mean, just
I hated to miss it.
like, I don't know if it's correct to say this, but we say like, "Ooh, I slayed that." God slayed that.
Yeah.
Okay, He just slayed it. It was powerful.
I bet.
And so my sister, a couple weeks ago, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, maybe beginning of December, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, she texted me one day. She's like, "Hey, are you coming to Women Who Worship?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." She's like, "Good, you're speaking. Bye." And I was like, "Okay, then." So, full honesty, full transparency, if you were there Friday night, you about to hear a repeat, is maybe you just get a little more today.
Good.
Because my mama texted me yesterday and she was like, "That was so good, but I just really wanted you to keep going." And I'm like, "Well, I was trying not to take all night. So, I was trying to keep it like 10 minutes or so. I wasn't trying to be there all night." So we'll get a little more today, but I really wanted to talk about this on here. God did give it to me for that. And I talked about this Friday night. I said, it's crazy how God works, because a couple days before she texted me, I was in the shower and we talked about like, you take a hot soak or a shower, and you just solve all your problems.
Yeah.
You just wash all your cares away.
Calgon, take me away.
Yeah. And so that's what was happening. And I just felt it drop in my spirit. And it was the phrase, not more, just better. And I was like, what does that mean? And so I thought in my mind, oh, it's probably something for a podcast. I'm gonna think on it and pray on it, and God will reveal it or speak to me or whatever. And so, but it had only been like the day before or a couple days before that this kind of dropped in my spirit. But when she texted me, I think you were at the house that day, and I was like, oh, my sister. Well, later that night when I went to lay down in bed, I was reminded of that phrase, and I knew, I was like, that's what it was for. It was for women of worship.
Yeah.
So I began to think on it, and it just started coming, and because that's how it goes. And so here's what I got from that. Have you ever said, and I know that you have because I talked about you Friday night. I said, my friend Michelle does this all the time, and there's totally nothing wrong with it. But I'll say to her, I love you, and she'll say, I love you more.
Yep.
That's what she always said. And she does that not just to me, she does it to everybody. And she means it when she says it.
Yeah, because I'm fatter. I can hold more love.
Stop it. I just said, no. It's because she's always trying to be bigger and better and one up. She's
because
like, no,
I am bigger.
You
I may
love
not
me
be
this
better.
much. I love you this much. That's what she does. So, and there's totally nothing wrong with that. I'll say, I love you to the moon and back back again. And so we try to make it,
for sure,
more.
Yeah.
But what if we took that word more and replaced it with better? And then I got to thinking,
that's good.
Telling my husband, I love you more yesterday or today than I did yesterday.
Yeah.
Or if it's our anniversary, I love you more this year than I did last year.
Yeah.
I love you more now than I ever have.
Yeah.
I love you more now than I did when we met. The I love you more thing. And I'm not knocking it, but just go here with me for a minute.
Yeah.
What if we replace that word more with better? And y'all know a definition's coming, so here you go. The definition of more is a greater or additional amount of something. The definition of better is of a more excellent or effective type or quality.
Come on now.
We've all heard the phrase quality versus quantity or quantity versus quality, and we'll say quality is better than quantity. Okay. If I have a jar of water and it's half full of water, and then I add more water, I'm increasing the amount of water. I can even add so much water that it begins to overflow out onto the floor or into another container.
Yeah.
But how can I make the water better? Well, I can filter the water. I can purify it.
Put lemonade.
And, right, I can make it clearer. I can even make it taste better by doing these things. I can remove the impurities. This headband is slipping off my head.
That's all right, girl. That's all right. Let it go.
I can even remove the impurities by doing that. These glasses and my headband. Now I'm going to have to hold my paper way out here. So I can monitor what goes in and what comes out.
Right.
Which is cool. I would venture to say that if I did that, then the quantity of the water wouldn't matter so much as the quality.
Yeah.
The pureness of it.
For sure.
I would also venture to say, my husband and I talked about this when I was writing this, that if you asked him and myself, I would say this, in the 5.5 years that we've been together, we've been married for 3, been together for 5.5, we would both agree that it's really not that we love each other more. We have learned how to love each other better.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do it the way God ordained it the first time around.
Yeah.
We were just we didn't know. And so therefore we both had failed marriages, and we both had, pain and hurt of a divorce and different things like that. And it just wasn't, those are never fun. And so you feel like a failure. You feel like you've got all this mistake there or these mistakes there. And you feel like, man, if I could have just done this, or if I could have just done that. When really, if you think about it, that's really not what it's about. It's about learning how to do it better.
Yeah.
And so I would venture to say that both of us would agree that we have learned how to love each other better.
Sure.
I know things about him that irritate him.
Yeah.
And so I try to make that better by not doing that. And it's not about changing who I am or changing what I do or what I like. It's about loving him in a way that better suits us.
Sure.
That makes us better together.
Yeah.
He is the same with me. There are things that he would never do because he knows that they are upsetting to me, that they're traumatic to me, or that I just plain old don't like it. I don't do well, you know. And so he doesn't do that because we've learned how to love one another better. And, you know, I got to thinking about that and I thought, what about God? You know, and I'll been guilty of praying, and there's nothing wrong with praying this. This is just my thought for this topic. What if I determined, or we determined, God, it's not about loving you more. It's about loving you better today than I did yesterday.
Changing the quality.
Yes. It's about, hey, I've been going around this mountain for a minute because I just don't want to crucify my flesh.
Yeah.
Or I know what the sacrifice is that's going to take me to get here.
Right.
And it's uncomfortable, and I'm just going to stay right here where I am.
Yeah.
Because I'll just put more time into this part of my relationship with you. I'll just give you more of me in this area over here. I'll just devote more of my time to telling this person about you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here's what happens when we do that. We get ourselves so spread so thin, and our time is so unmanageable, because really what he's saying is, if you'll just learn how to love me better, the things that I have called you to, you'll be excellent at them.
Yeah.
But instead of you really giving what I want and what I crave and what I created you for, you're so busy trying to figure out, how can I top it? How can I make it more? How can I bigger, more of this, more of that? It's not about quantity.
Yeah.
It's about the quality of what we're giving him.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I took piano lessons, and my grandma would make me go out in the garage in Texas, of all places, and I would have to practice.
Yeah.
And I would practice and practice and practice and practice, and I would go over the same chords and the same thing, and practice makes perfect.
Yes.
All these things. And then I would go out the next day and I would have the same struggles, but I would do all these things. And I would come inside and my heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
The quality of with which I was giving of myself to it, it just wasn't there. I was like done with it. And I came in and I was like, you said if I'd practice like every day this week, you would buy me something. And she was like, my grandma, I'll never forget her saying this, which is crazy that you said that. She's like, you know, Michelle, she said, more isn't always better. Sometimes it's just more. And as a kid, I didn't really understand what she meant.
Yeah.
But listening to you talk and looking back on that, what she was saying is if you would give of yourself to what you're doing, if you would make what you're doing, if you would raise the quality of it, if you would make it better, you wouldn't have to go out there every day and go over the same thing over and over and over and over, because more isn't better. It's just more, because you're not getting any better.
Exactly. You would get past that and you would move to a next level or a next step.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. We just keep more.
Yeah.
And we live in a society that we can't get enough of whatever it is. Like that's how we operate, and that's how we act. Oh, you got 50 pounds of something, I'm going to get 75.
Yeah.
Oh, you got 75, bet I'm getting 125.
Yeah.
Like
Consumption.
Yes. I mean,
we ain't even paying attention to what we're consuming because we just want more.
Yeah, we just want more.
It could be to our detriment, but
if somebody
we just want more.
If they've got this much, well, I'm going to get this much. And that's like, and we do that spiritually too, though. Just because, and I know people that can do this. I know people that can walk in a room and light the house on fire spiritually.
Yeah.
I know other people that, you know, they have a different ministry, so they have to sit down and they have to take time and they have to study and they have to put all this stuff together. They're more of a teacher, not a preacher. It's walking out the different ministries and the callings, and it's not about being just like somebody else.
Right.
It's about giving better of yourself.
Right.
And just like you said, it's the quality.
Yeah.
And you're putting your heart and soul into it. And so it's growing from that. It's not, because here's the thing. What about when we learn how to love God better because we're filtered the things, just like the water, that comes through our mind, comes through our heart, comes through our home, everything we allow in our life. It's not about more.
Yeah.
It's about filtering it and only letting what is better, the quality, come through.
Yeah.
Better because we've learned how to be still in the storm.
Sure.
Better because we've learned how to surrender in the struggle.
Yeah.
Better because we've learned he's the calm in the chaos.
Yeah.
Better because we've learned that prayer should precede everything.
Right.
Better because we've learned that he's the peace that passes all understanding, because I will be still and know that he is God.
Yeah.
And I will say and focus my mind on him,
Yeah.
then I'm going to get the perfect peace that only comes from him.
For sure.
But that only comes from learning how to love him better.
Yeah.
And the only way I can do that is to get in the word.
Yeah.
The only way that I can do that is to draw nigh to him and let him draw nigh to me.
Yeah.
I have to live that out, and I have to walk that out. I've learned some things, and I can speak for you in this area as well. I do things the way I do them now because on the journey that I've been on and the places that he's brought me out of and the stuff that he's brought me through, I learned how to love him better.
Yeah.
Because there were some places and there were some times and there were some things when I was going to say I was barely hanging on, but I don't even really know if you'd call it that. Just scraping the bottom. I mean, I would say barely breathing, but I don't even know if you'd call it that. I don't know what a term would be. Just really on my way out.
Yeah.
You know? And yet still, he said, hey, come on, let me show you.
Yeah.
Let me show you where I can put you, what I can do with you, how I can deliver you, how I can save you, because you have no hope right now.
Yeah.
You feel like you've gone too far, done too much. You've made too many bad choices. Just, here you are, and this is all there's ever going to be until you're not here anymore. Because that's really what I felt like. I just felt like I'm going to go out one of a couple of ways, I'm either going to get beat to death or I'm going to OD or, that was probably really the two main choices. The drugs were going to do it or he was going to do it, one of the two. And so coming from that, I look back at that now and I love God better in a lot of ways because I know where he brought me from.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a different story. Your story don't look like mine and don't have to.
Right.
But if you will look at your story and look at your life, you are where you are because he loves us better than anybody else.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's ever going to come in or out of my life, even my husband, as much as that man loves me and he loves me. He's never going to love me better than God does.
Right.
Never.
Right.
He'll be the next best thing, but he's never going to love me better than God does.
Yeah.
Nobody is ever going to be there for me like God is.
Right.
Nobody's ever going to be there better for me than he is. Nobody's ever going to have a better answer for me than God does. Nobody is going to hold that place in my life better than God does.
Yeah.
Because after all, I'm created in his image.
Right.
So whatever situation I'm in, whether it's a struggle or whether I am in the stars, whether it's happy, whether it's sad, whether it's whatever it is, it's still better with him.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I've learned and am still learning because some days I don't get it. I don't get it right. But I've learned in a lot of ways that he is the better choice. He's going to be the better choice every
Always.
time.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
It's not about loving him more. It's not always about doing more. We love to quote that scripture, the scriptures that talk about, giving all of yourself and doing all you can and being all you can be. The headband's got to go. Being all you can be and I'm not, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that. But first, before we start saying, I'm going to give myself to this, and this, and we are in 25 things,
Yeah.
and we're only called to 3 of them,
Talk about that.
and then we wonder why we're burnt out, we're exhausted, we don't feel like we're
Yeah.
effective, we don't. It's because more is not always
I think you just
best.
said it right there too. Effective. more is like accumulating these things, but to be better is to be effective.
Yes.
You know, when you think about more, I think about, this is going to sound silly, but I think about Ariel, the Little Mermaid, singing about this cavern she has that's filled with all these things that she's collected. She's got more than anyone, probably any other mermaid, but it's a cavern filled with things that she knows nothing of.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to use them. She doesn't even know what they're called.
Right.
Because I know a fork ain't a dingle hopper. But the thing is it's like we do that in life. We want more. So we fill this, you know, figurative cavern with all these things and all these pieces that we don't even know what they're for, and we don't need them.
But they look good on paper.
Yeah, but somebody else has it and it looks good on paper.
Yeah.
But when we strive to be better, there's an effectiveness that is engaged, that it doesn't just bring us closer to him. It brings us to a place of, what can I do for you? How can I use this to serve you in a way that I've never served you before? Because I see where you brought me from. You've done some things for me in my life, and I'll never be the same. So I'm not going to serve you the same.
Right.
You know?
Right. And it's just, and the Bible talks about our relationship with God as he is the bridegroom and we are the bride.
Yeah.
The church is the bride and he is the bridegroom. And so it likens our relationship to
Like a
God,
marriage.
to a marriage.
Sure.
And so, you know, if you're not married, think about what it would be like, or what it is going to be like when you are.
Yeah.
Or if you're not married and you're like, well, I'm too young for that, or I'm not thinking about that yet. Okay, well, think of the person that is closest to you in your life.
Yeah.
Think about how important that relationship is to you.
It ain't all about you.
No. And think about how much they matter to you, and how much you want to love them and them to love you in whatever capacity
You want
that
them
looks
to
like.
know you love them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that relationship is important to you.
For sure.
You would do anything for them, and they would do
Absolutely.
anything for you. And so think about that relationship. I just likened it to my marriage because I'm married, and that's the next relationship in the chain aside from myself and God.
Right.
And so every single day, even on the days that he probably wants to twist my head off, I really do in my heart want to love my husband better than I did the day before. And I
Sure.
don't always get that right. So don't be misled
Same.
there. But my heart, I really do. My mind and my heart, I really do want to do that. I don't want to be married for, if the Lord tarries 20 years, and still be at the level that we're at right now after 3 years of marriage. No. We should be in a rhythm and a place of excellence.
Yeah.
Not perfectness, but excellence.
Yeah.
We're not at excellent yet. We've only been married for 3 years. We've been together for 5.5. So we're still in that, you know, kind of beginning stages. We're still learning a lot, but we have learned some things, and we're on a different level than we were when we started.
Yeah.
And we're learning that everything is not a disagreement. Everything's not a crisis.
Yeah.
It's just a difference of opinion sometimes.
Yeah.
And we ain't got to get mad about it.
Right.
It's okay. Oh, you don't like that? You don't think that's the way that ought to be done? Okay. Well, I don't think that's your way's the way it ought to be done.
Yeah.
Well, who gonna do it then? Because we can't both do it two different ways. So you gonna do it, or am I gonna do it? I mean, I don't care. We can flip a coin. We can do whatever. And we're gonna be all right.
Yeah. We're going to figure it out.
But the old me, we first got together, this is the way it's done. This is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Say it ain't so.
Because that's my daddy and me.
Yeah.
There ain't but one way to do it, and it's my way.
Let's step outside.
You know what I've had to learn?
Let me take my earrings off.
I've had to learn that ain't necessary. I've had to learn that. And you know what? Sometimes I still have to reel it back in, because there's a certain way to do it.
Matt over there looking at me like, you need to work on reeling. You need looking
But
at
you know
me.
what?
You need to work on
I've
reeling.
learned. I've learned that is that's one of those things where, is this really? We're really gonna have a disagreement about
And
this?
I think no matter the relationship, whether it's a spouse, a parent, child, a brother, sister, a friend, whatever the relationship is, I think no matter the relationship, you always want it to have growth.
Yes.
Because something that's not growing is dead. And so you want there to be growth, but accumulating more of something does not equivocate growth.
No.
Being better, however, is striving for something that is going to change what something is and make it more excellent. Like you said earlier, it's growing into something.
Yes.
And if you think that having more of something is the same as growing.
No.
Go watch Hoarders. Having more of something does not make things better.
I wish y'all could see her husband's face right now.
I'm just saying,
It's
like,
true, though.
that's not growth. These poor people, you watch them go into these houses, and these people who are depressed,
Listen.
they got dead cats under their fridge.
I feel like depressed is
How
a
did
very
can't even get there?
mild term
That's
for
not
that.
growth.
No, it's
No,
not.
but we're spiritual hoarders. We're spiritual hoarders if we think that more equivocates growth,
Right.
because it does not.
It does
You ain't
not.
going nowhere.
No. Maya Angelou is one of my favorite people. And she has a quote, and I use it all the time. When you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, I know better.
Yeah.
And he is better.
Yeah.
He is the best. It doesn't get any better than him.
Exactly.
As great and magnificent and excellent as my husband is, and he is. I'm not being sarcastic. If you know my husband, you know
He
this.
is. He's
He's
awesome.
amazing. And I said this Friday night. There ain't nobody come close to him but Jesus, okay?
Yeah.
However, as great as he is, I know somebody greater.
For sure.
I know somebody better.
Yeah.
I know the best.
Yeah.
And so when I know the best and when I've experienced the best, it's not about more. It's about giving my best back to him.
Yeah,
And so it's not about quantity. It's about the quality of what I'm giving him.
sure.
Because anybody can show up. Anybody can check off the box.
Yeah.
Anybody can sing 3 worship songs and collect the offering and sit down. I'm just being honest. Anybody, I don't know a church that gathers together that don't do that.
No, you're right.
However, my worship, when I forget myself and I don't know who's around me and I'm not looking at the person that's distracting me wherever they sitting in the church doing whatever they doing, and I am just, it's me and him and
Yeah.
it's one, and I'm literally in the throne room.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than that.
No.
And you know, and Friday night, we went there, okay? Well, we just went there. And I couldn't help but think, this is better. This is the better of
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I've really, 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 and I know you're going to laugh at this, but because you more so than me, I've really, really been praying the beginning of this year, and I've been saying, God, I need you to help me know what to say yes to and what to say no to. Because, you know, we just want to be like, oh, yes, to all the things.
Because God be saying you need to say yes more often.
And I'm just like, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to reevaluate
Yeah.
and I'm going to pray over it. And it's not going to be, Elena ain't going to make this decision. Okay. I'm going to rely on the Lord. So there's been a couple things that God has been like, man, you need to calm that down.
Yeah.
And we have this deal coming up where we're going to get to go and teach recovery at one of the local high schools coming up.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be every other Thursday. Well, today she busted in and she's like, guess what? It's every Thursday. And I was like, all right. So because that is what is near and dear to our hearts. And I know we won't all be going every Thursday,
Right.
but it will be a commitment.
Yeah.
And I've been super excited about this because
Right.
recovery is our heartbeat. That's what we do.
For sure.
And so,
And
it's
this
not,
is a huge opportunity.
This is a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's not that we don't do other things or can't do other things or
Right.
God doesn't call us to other things.
Right.
But recovery and reaching for the broken and the lost and the hurting and the people that we were once,
Right.
that's
We're reaching for ourselves.
that's what we're
Yeah.
called. That's our ministry. That's what we're called to. That is, if you would ask us what is the main thing,
Yeah.
the main focus of what you're called to do, that would be both of our answers.
Sure.
Music ministry would probably be my second. I mean, as much as I love music and much as I love, and we have an amazing team
Yeah.
and an amazing leader. And I'm not putting that like in second place, but I'm saying if you ask me what my first and foremost passion is, it's going to be recovery and the lost and the broken and the hurting, because that's me. That's who I was. That's
Sure.
who we were. And so I felt like when you said that, I was like, okay, God, because there's been a couple things. And even this morning, I was talking to God about it. And I felt like once again, he said, you need to stop. You need to put that on pause. You need to hold off on that. And so I'm very much going to do that because I believe that's right. And I believe that's what he said, because in doing that, that's a step toward being able to love him better,
Yeah.
being able to serve him better,
Yeah.
having 25 small groups, personally, I'm not talking about as a whole, as a church, yes, please have 25 small groups, have 45 small groups. But I'm talking about personally, me being involved and trying to help with 25 small groups is not feasible. However, you and me be thinking that sometimes. We be,
Yeah.
our finger feels like it's in every pie.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's not always, we're not always able to be as effective as we could be, I think, because we feel obligated or we feel like we can't say no.
Yeah.
Or we feel like. And so I want to try to make a conscious choice to say, is this really something I should be doing? Because God, it's not about more, it's about better.
Yeah.
I want to serve you better. I want to love you better. I want to portray you better.
Yeah.
And if I'm spread so thin and I'm exhausted and I have nothing left to give at the end of the day, well, who am I really doing any good? I mean, eventually nobody, because I'm going to burn out. And I'm going to not be. And go back to that relationship, whether it's your marriage, whether it's a best friend, whether it's a child, whatever it is.
Ministry.
Okay, look at that relationship. Look at that ministry. At the end of the day, if you're so exhausted and so tapped out and so burnt out, what do you have left to give to that person or to that ministry that you can continue to be effective?
Yeah.
Very little, I would say. And it won't take you long to get burnt out or tapped
If it
out.
ain't effective, it ain't better.
Especially if you're not in the will of God.
Yeah.
And if you're doing something, maybe maybe your heart is right. Maybe your motive's not bad. I've been there plenty of times.
Yeah.
But it's not for you.
Yeah.
And God didn't call you to it.
Yeah.
You just
And the
feel
thing,
guilty
too,
or feel obligated.
Yeah, by continuing to force yourself in that spot because you have to check a box or because you got to have more, you're hindering the person that's supposed to stand there from standing
now.
there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not only creating an ineffectiveness in your own life and for the ones that you're dealing with, but you're creating an ineffectiveness for the one that God called to that spot that you won't move out of so that they can stand in authority in that ministry or in whatever that is and do what God's called them to do. It's a failure all the way around.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I don't know who listening that was for, but receive it. Receive it.
The idea of wanting more. Have you ever to me, like, it gives off this, there's someone that I'm thinking of right now and I love her a lot and she's a sweet person, but it makes me sad a lot of times to be around her because you can tell she lives this life that nothing is enough. And it's just more and I get more and I get more and I get more and I have this and I have that. But the same result is at the end of it all. There's never fulfillment.
Yeah.
You're never helping anybody else fulfill what they need to fulfill in their life.
Because you ain't never
and
got
you're
enough.
chasing a feeling that is never going, because he's the only one that can give you that feeling of completion and wholeness and
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so it's there's no benefit. There's no benefit to it. It's got to be better. It's got to be more effective. It's got to be quality. It has to be.
And that creates.
You're chasing your tail if it's not.
Exactly. That creates an intimacy between you and God that nothing else can take the place of. Nothing else can fill that space.
Yeah.
Nothing else. He created us to
Yeah.
have that intimacy with him. Just like he created husbands and wives to have an intimacy between them that is just for them.
Yeah.
That is what a marriage relationship is about. However, I'm not just talking about sexual intimacy. I'm
Right.
talking about an intimacy to where I know what my husband likes, what I know how he feels. I can walk in the room.
It's not even just about knowing, it's about
and
caring.
read his emotion,
Yeah.
and then follow that up
Yeah.
with a compassion
Because it matters to
or
you.
with a desire.
Yeah.
If it's not a good emotion, to help him get to where it is a good emotion.
Yeah.
And the same for me. He always tells me. I call him after work every day when I start my way home because I have an hour drive home. I'll call him, hey, I got this day done. I'm headed your way. Da, 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 da. Okay, I love you. See you later. Bye. And he tells me, Elena, I can tell what kind of day you had by your tone of voice on the phone. He said, you don't ever even. I'm like, but we say the same thing. He said, yeah. He said, but your voice will have a tone to it. And he said, and I will know by the tone of your voice what kind of day you've had. I know if you're frazzled. I know if you're upset. I know if you had a good day. I know if you had a out of control day. I know he said, I can always tell by the tone of
He's
your
a
voice.
wife whisperer.
And he's right. Like, what'd you say?
The wife whisperer.
And he's right. He always knows.
Yeah.
But and the same with him. I've learned his mannerisms and
'Cause you
his
care and it
reactions and
matters
his
and-
tone.
yeah.
Y'all, how much more important is it that we are that way with God?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. It is. We shouldn't want to live any other way.
And if anyone deserves better, it's God.
It's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just encourage you, whatever situation you're in, maybe you're dealing with some mess right now. Maybe your new year has not started off happy.
Yeah.
Maybe you are not. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Every single day you're walking through what you're walking through. Determine in your life, your heart, your mind, your home. God, it's not gonna be more today.
Yeah.
I'm going to love you better today than I
Yeah,
did yesterday.
that's good.
And tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to strive to do it again.
That's good.
I'm going to do it better tomorrow than I did today.
Yeah.
And next week, I'm going to be on a different level and I'm going to be loving you better next week than I
Yeah.
did this week. It's a
love that.
constant, and we're never going to get it perfect. But if we strive for that, I promise you, in a week, you'll be at a different spot that you were today. And in a
Yeah.
month, you'll be at a different spot than you were next
Oh,
week.
for sure.
And then as the year
There's
goes
growth.
on, you're going to look back and you're going to go, wow.
Yeah.
It's not a fight to fast 3 days anymore.
No.
Wow, it's not a fight to get down and pray an hour anymore.
Yeah.
Wow, it's not a fight to make it to church when I'm supposed to make it to church.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't feel guilty when I pick this that's ministry related over something that I would rather have done before because it was fun or because
Yeah.
it was less work or because it was less sacrifice. I'm telling you, you will grow significantly and you will be able to look back and see, hey, this is what quality looks like.
Sure.
This is what better looks like.
Yeah.
This is what prioritizing loving him better and making quality my focus, not quantity.
Yeah.
It's not about the amount.
No.
It's just about doing it better.
Yeah. I love that.
Anyway,
That's good.
that's all I got.
That's good.
And I didn't say a scripture, but I will say one because I don't want to do a podcast without a scripture.
Oh,
I had several written down here, so
Jesus.
just so y'all know.
We gotta be biblical.
We gotta make sure we're in the
Elena.
Bible. Psalm 73:26 says, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." Portion in that scripture means inheritance. Let me tell you what, ain't nobody on this earth gonna leave you a bigger, better inheritance
Nope.
than he has for you.
That's right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
That's why the better is important.
Yeah.
Psalm 119:105 says, "Your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." His word is the way we're going to learn how to do it better, how to serve him better, how to love him better.
Yeah.
His word illuminates our whole lives, our path. Every step that we take, his word illuminates.
For sure.
And then the last one I had is Jeremiah 29:13. This scripture is on my Papa Kenneth's tombstone and is one of my favorite scriptures. "You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all of your heart." I promise you that no matter what you're dealing with, whether you're in a joyful season or whether you're in a grievous season, if you will search for him with all of your heart
Yeah.
and determine, God, this don't feel right. I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah.
This is painful, but I'm going to learn I'm going to love you better
Yes.
with every day that comes.
Yes.
No matter what comes my way,
For sure.
I'm going to learn how to love you better.
Yeah.
If you're in a joyful season, Lord, I'm still going to love you better because
Yeah.
I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
For sure.
We don't know. We're not guaranteed tomorrow.
No.
We don't know what the future holds.
Guaranteed nothing.
But I know this. I'm going to determine in my heart that it's not just going to be about more.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it better.
Yeah.
So I encourage you. That's what I got.
I love it.
And
It's good.
let's do it better.
Yes. We love you guys.
Yes. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.